During the workshop, if anyone's got any questions, please stick them in the chat box, and if there's space and time at the end of the workshop, we'll go through them. If not, I promise you I will answer all the questions on the Peace of I Facebook page. Okay, so we're just going to go over to the next screenshot. There we go. So that's me. So I wanted to share a little about my story, a bit about my journey of how I turned my life around using the Ho'oponopono. In 2017, I had a stroke. I lost my health, my sight, my job, my home, and my driving license. And I was absolutely gutted, and I spiraled deeply into depression. I was put into an emergency accommodation in the UK, and I wasn't able to see properly because I had photophobia after the stroke. I was trapped in my room, and I couldn't, because my hands didn't work, I wasn't able to open a bottle of water, I wasn't able to access food, and it wasn't long before I ended up in hospital. So after being taken to hospital for dehydration, carers were set up to come in and help me get wash and help me eat. I went from being really independent single mum who was really strong and capable. I used to shovel 2 tons of pig food a day, to someone who was really highly dependent, and I felt useless. I'll just let Cindy in. Oh, admit. There we go. I had lost my independence, and I wanted to find a way forward, but I felt absolutely stuck. It was one of the carers that I got who introduced me to a poem that they use at the Invictus Games. The final words of the poem are, "I am a master of my soul and captain of my ship." These words stuck with me, and that inspired me and gave me hope. I started to find more positive ways to think and spend my time. I spent my hours studying the body-mind connection. I knew applying a positive attitude had reframed my thoughts in the past. So I studied neuroscience, I studied the power of positivity, gratitude, the law of attraction, and Insight A. So I discovered my mirror and inspiration on Netflix, believe it or not, Ram Dass, who, like me, had had a stroke which taught him grace. And this was a man who lived his life serving people. And then all of a sudden, after asking people, how can I help you, which is one of his books, he had to learn, can you help me? And that's a really, really hard lesson to learn. I studied the book, Be Here Now by Ram Dass. My concentration at that time was so tiny, but repetition, just kept trying, kept reading. It helped me rewire my brain. And I started taking part in stroke groups where I taught myself to write and draw again. I had to learn how to hold a pencil, and at first I could only finger paint. I met my Reiki master, Sheila Sodha, and she taught me first level Usui Reiki. And in that, you learn to heal yourself first before you can heal anyone else or anything else. And that was really useful. She also taught me how the Ho'oponopono works. So since then, I never looked back. I now have my sight. I have my health, I have my driving license, and I'm qualified as a life coach and now can help other people make their dreams come true too. I can't say any one thing healed me, but I can tell you that the combination of these things has got me where I am today. And that took me 2 years. So it's why I want to share these tools with you today. I want to help you to rise above. I don't know what you mean.
You need to move that way.
Thank you. Sorry. So it's why I wanted to share the tools with you today, because I want to show you that no matter what obstacles there are in your life, that you can achieve the life that you deserve. And it doesn't take, well, it takes a fair bit of commitment, but as long as you're dedicated, you're going to get there. So I'm just going to shift this over to there and there. There we go. So, excuse me, the Ho'oponopono. It's really, really difficult to say, and it's not that bad to spell, but I could spell it before I could say it. Ho'o means to make, and pono means right. Ho'oponopono means to make right, to make double right and bring balance. Now, there's one rule with Ho'oponopono, and that is that it's all about you. Now, Ho'oponopono is the practice of witnessing or identifying our thoughts and then taking 100% responsibility for those thoughts so we can let them go and return to zero, which is pure love. Now, Dr. Hugh Len said, every time there's a problem, notice that you're always there. You see, problems are only problems if we think they are. And Dr. Hugh Len realized that thinking is being engaged in our data, which is our memories. And when we tune in to love, which is our pure natural state, through the art of love, repentance, forgiveness, and gratitude, we can all clean ourselves, and this will enable us to reach enlightenment. Now, a Ho'oponopono, like I said, it's taking 100% responsibility for your thoughts. So we need to stop blaming people. Dr. Hugh Len, when people said, but how about this? How about this? How about this? He used to turn around and go, bullshit excuses. And blaming is bullshit excuses. We need to stop blaming people. We need to stop blaming our environment. We need to stop blaming things. We need to just take responsibility and accept, you know, okay, so we messed up, but it's okay because we can possibly put it right given time. Blaming is a waste of our time, and it's a waste of our energy. Just think, every time you hold resentment or blame, you know, how much energy does that take from you? So how our body minds interact. Our thoughts become our feelings and emotions, and our feelings and emotions become our actions and behavior, and our actions and behavior becomes our thoughts again. Let me explain. So if I'm walking down the road, now there's no dinosaurs now, so it used to work really well when there was dinosaurs, but this is why we do it. It's built in. So we walk down the road, and all of a sudden there's a dog and it starts running towards us. The first thing we do is see the dog. The second thing we do is think. So we might pause and go, there's a dog, it's running towards us. That how we react to that first thought, oh, there's a dog, is going to affect how we feel and how our emotions, you know, whether we feel sad, feel angry, feel scared. And these things create a chemical reaction inside our head. This is often when In a stressful situation, our body releases cortisol. It's a stress hormone. So our body releases cortisol, and our body then physically starts shutting down and going into fight and flight. This is exactly the same as when you have a panic attack. But this is all the time. This happens so many times a day. This happens like, okay, kettle, hot water, okay. Hot water, I'm used to this, but it's still hot, so let's watch our fingers. It affects how we act and how we behave, and more thoughts. So we go, oh no, there's some hot water, and then we might burn ourselves, and it'll stop us being so careless again or making that accident again. So we really need to think about our thoughts becoming our feelings and emotions, and how that affects how we behave. The more energy that we put into our thoughts, the more powerful they become, and the more we get stuck in our minds. Our thoughts and feeds our emotions, and our emotions feed our actions and behavior. This is affecting our body chemistry. So if things are good, we create happy hormones. I've forgotten the name for that. I think it's neuroephedrine. And when our body is happy, we're creating happier hormones. We feel better. Our body reacts in a totally different way. Our behavior, we're not always conscious of our behavior, and body chemistry can affect us on conscious and unconscious levels. Now, our thoughts create how we identify ourselves in the world. The world we see is our projection, and it's built up from our perception. In other words, what we see and feel and think is influenced by our past memories. And that's how NLP works. It's how CBT works. There's many therapies that take on this as the base and then move on from there. Our memories live inside our data bank, which are stored in our mind, which is our thought processor. Now, our memories form our identity. It tells us who we think we are. Our identity is also our ego. And it tells us what's safe and what's unsafe, and creates our perceptions and our judgments. So no matter what our thoughts are on a situation, we have no right to judge or tell another what to think or do. That's their work and not ours. It's our job to love. Ram Dass said, information is just bits of data. Knowledge is putting them together, and wisdom is transcending them. So this is why we have to let go and let God. Now, when I say God, I don't mean the Christian God, okay? God can be whatever you want God to be for you. It can be a purple-headed unicorn if you'd like. What it is Dr. Hughlem was teaching us that we're passing it over to a higher power than ourselves, which can be the higher power within ourselves, like our soul, or it can be a God or a Buddha or whatever. It's our job to clean ourselves and become pure again, so that we can achieve our true state of unconditional love. Now, by identifying thoughts which no longer serve us, we can change our perception of the world, and we achieve this through loving awareness. Loving awareness is simply looking at or witnessing ourselves from a place of love. So when I screw up, I take a moment and I try and look at myself with love, as if I was a different person. And I think, you know what, if this was my daughter, how would I really react to this? you know, we can be our own worst critics. So we really need to start looking at ourselves with love and trying to be aware of whatever's coming up for us, whether it's our issues, our problems, past problems, future problems, all sorts of anxiety. Thoughts are terribly seductive, but you do not have to identify with them. You identify not with the thought, but with the awareness of the thought. So to bring loving awareness to everything you turn your attention to is to be love. Now, when we are aware of our thoughts, we can take responsibility for them and are able to control how we interact with the world. If a thought is a negative one, we can reframe the thought through making it positive. And we can do that through applying 4 affirmations. Now, in CBT and other therapies, they teach you to notice the thought and then react to the thought and decide whether the thought serves you or not. With Ho'oponopono, we don't do that. What we do is we have the thought, we become aware of the thought, and we go, okay, so this thought's come up for me right now. I need to clean on it. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now, when we emit positive feelings and emotions and we add these 4 affirmations, it then helps us reframe the thought. We can then create more positive feelings and emotions connected with the thought and maybe neutralize it. And we can also then act in a better way and a more positive way, which will create positive thoughts. And the more positive thoughts we have, the more our world will change and the happier we'll be. Positive self-talk through affirmations motivate, inspire, encourage us to take action and realize our goals. That's why things like the law of attraction and things work. It's positive self-talk. It's that simple. The 4 statements, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and I thank you, are affirmations which we apply in the Ho'oponopono. They help us to change our perception. Now I'm going to explain that now. So all humans contain the powers of love, repentance, forgiveness, and gratitude. Now, when we combine these powers of love, repentance, gratitude, and forgiveness, we get a superpower, and it's called letting go. Okay, no one can let go of anything until they learn to love, until they're sorry, until they forgive, and until they're grateful. You need to have a combination of those, and then you can let these things go. So let's explore the meanings of love, sorry, forgiveness, and thank you. Love is a powerful word and emotion. Now, I want to encourage you to, well, look at these words, pop something into the chat box, say what love means to you. Love for the self is just as important as love for each other. So for some people, it's so easy to love one another, but it's really, really difficult to love themselves. And for other people, they really, really love themselves and really don't like other people. So it really is a balancing act, and it's trying to get them both. But it's so important to love the self and love each other. In our most pure and natural state, we are unconditional love. So at 0, at the whiteboard, in our pure and natural state where there is no memories, we are unconditional love. And enlightenment, put my teeth back in. Enlightenment is when we reach a state of pure love and we just radiate love. The thought of giving and receiving love can warm up our inside, and it takes us to a happy place. Now, the word sorry shows acknowledgement, and it can be really difficult to say. It holds so much power because it opens us up and makes us feel vulnerable. Now, hearing the word sorry can also make us drop down our defenses. So, you know, like when our kids or a friend or something makes a mistake and they turn and we're like, oh, you know, and it's really got to us, and they go turn around and go, look, I'm really sorry. And it all of a sudden from going, we'll go, okay, no worries, we'll sort it. Forgiveness. Now that's an action which emits positive energy. And this action can be for ourselves as well as for others, and contains the superpower for releasing us from negativity. Now, it, excuse me, it can be a challenge to achieve, but well worth the effort. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's very easy to say, yeah, I forgive you, but do we really? And sometimes people go, yeah, of course I forgive you. And really they're holding a grudge. Well, neither of them serves anyone. So we have to let ourselves go, and the other person, we have to let them go too. There's no point holding grudges. The word thank you, or words thank you, show appreciation. Gratitude is one of the most powerful actions on the planet. Some people have a whole gratitude journal or diary, and for those people, you know, it really changes their life just to be thankful and make a point of writing down every day like 5 things that they're thankful for. Things like that can really improve your day, especially when you think, do you know what, I don't think I've got anything to be thankful for today. But if we put our mind to it, I bet you, even on those bad days, we can find at least 3 things that we can write down and be thankful for. Now, everyone has got something to be thankful for every day. And the act of gratitude is contagious. So saying thank you to one person, even whether it's sharing a nice picture or something like that, it's contagious, and it just emits so much happiness. It can bring an abundance of happiness. So now is the empowering part. We're going to combine these words. So if you can, read them out loud. Like I say, I've muted the microphone, so you can read them out loud. Don't worry, no one can hear you. If you don't want to say them out loud, try and say them in your head. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. Now that is cleaning. We've applied those 4 phrases. We know what they mean. They're 4 affirmations. And when I say them, I'm cleaning on you. I'm cleaning on what is in you that is in me. So I'm cleaning on what I see you mirroring. Yeah, you are all mirroring something of me. And it could be something tiny, or it could be a really big something, but you're bringing attention to something in me that I need to clean on. So I love you. If you say the word, I love you, we're showing ourselves love is a really important part of self-acceptance. And telling ourselves that I love you says, I know you did it wrong and I still love you anyway. I love you also, I think I mentioned it before, it connects us to our source, our pure state of unconditional love, which is the divine. I'm sorry. Apologizing for something shows that we accept that we thought wrongly and we acted wrongly. We are willing to take responsibility for that. Now, we can learn from our mistakes, and holding on to any situation only hurts us and drains our energy. Like I said before, anyone that's holding resentment or grudges against a person just needs to let go, because it hurts the person that's holding on to that is just hurting themselves. It doesn't hurt the other person. They can't tell. They've got no idea, especially if it's someone you don't live with or have no contact with. So we need to let these things go. Self-forgiveness and forgiving others removes our internal blocks and allows us to move forward. I thank you. We can be thankful for acknowledging that all problems are not problems. They are opportunities to clean our data. Being able to clean our memories so we can let them go and let God transmute them. We can be grateful for being able to find this safe and practical way to release and to cope with our issues. And we can be grateful for finding peace no matter what is happening around us. So saying these affirmations is like planting seeds. So if you look at them not so much as words or thoughts for a moment, and you look at them like little seeds, and the more you pay attention to these little seeds, the more you feed them, the more you water them, the more these seeds will grow and develop and bloom into something beautiful. So do not worry, because if at first you do not feel it, it doesn't matter. Just keep saying it, and eventually you'll start to get the feeling. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. So to be able to apply these statements successfully through the art of Ho'oponopono, we must first calm the mind and return to center. And secondly, we must focus on the issue that we wish to clean on, while repeating the 4 affirmations. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. Now, the order that you say these really does not matter. What matters is you know that you're saying them and you've got an idea of what you're saying them for. Now, why we repeat ourselves, like I was explaining when I told you my story, you can rewire your brain through repetition. Neurons which fire together, wire together. So as you repeat things, you're building up new pathways in your brain. Repetitive thoughts create new thought patterns, and that creates your new beliefs. So that's how it's said that with a habit, you can create a new habit by doing the same thing for 66 days. So do you remember the number 1 rule? It's all about you. So let's do this together, and let's take a moment to calm our minds. I'm not sure how you are on breath work or anything, so I'm going to bring something to you that Dr. Hugh Len taught to me. He taught me a thing called square breathing. It's also known as box breathing for some of the martial artists out there. And in square breathing, it doesn't matter so much what number you count to. If you're like a super duper breathwork dude, you can count all the way to 10, and that's cool. If you're starting at the beginning, you really want to start with about the number 4. But if you've been doing this for a considerable time, you might manage to do 7 quite easily. Now, when we inhale, we're inhaling for the count of 4. Then we pause for the count of 4. We exhale for the count of 4 and pause for the count of 4. When we do up to 4, we don't have to do heart rate heartbeat counts, you know, like 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato. No, what we have to do is get to 4. And as long as the inhale, the pause and the exhale are the same length, we've nailed it. Okay, so don't worry too much like, oh, this 4 might not be the same as the other 4. Don't worry about that. Everything comes with time and with repetition. So we're going to do that just now. So if you'd like to inhale, I'm going to count you through to 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're good. So I hope you've managed to get your head around that short square breathing, but you can do anything up to 10 rounds. So the next step is we bring to mind whatever's troubling you most at the moment. So I'd really like you to focus on your problem. You don't have to share it with us. You don't have to put it in the chat box. You do have to bring it to the front of your mind. Now, it may help if you close your eyes and focus on the problem. Now, while we're focusing on that problem and it's at the forefront of our minds, we're going to repeat the affirmations. I'd like you to say it out loud. And if you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, say it in your heads. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. So congratulations. You have just practiced basic Ho'oponopono. You took yourself to center. That's what you did. You calmed your mind through grounding and doing the breathing and just taking yourself to that moment of calm. You focused on your problem. So not someone else's problem, you focused on your problem. And then you applied the 4 affirmations. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. It really is that simple. And now you are able to apply the Ho'oponopono to absolutely anything. So it doesn't matter whether it's a relationship issue at work, issues at home. If it's something that's troubling you, like maybe you can't find your hairbrush in the morning or something like that, don't worry. Ho'oponopono it. So our end goal with the Ho'oponopono is to attain inner peace and enlightenment. Now, that's not just in the one situation that might have been forefront in our minds at the moment, but everything in our whole life. This is called the peace of I. This is the peace that we achieve through applying the Ho'oponopono in our daily lives. Now, you'll see on the website, you'll see the peace of I prayer. We can achieve the peace of I through taking responsibility for what we can control and coming to terms with what we can't control and letting that go. We can also admit that we are not perfect and we all make mistakes. Why? Because we're human. It's okay that we screw up sometimes, do you know? But it's really important we go, do you know what? I just screwed up and I'm going to take responsibility for that. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you. And we can show gratitude for all in existence and show ourselves and others unconditional love. So in following workshops, I'm going to cover, they're all going to be free. This isn't a sales pitch. It's called Sharing the Love, and that's what the world needs right now. So, and the Ho'oponopono, I was talking to a lady, she said, you know what, if everyone applies the Ho'oponopono, even just for a week of their lives, the world would be such a better place. And I went, you know what, you're right. So religion and Ho'oponopono, I can cover that. Energy and Ho'oponopono, healing through the Ho'oponopono, ancestral imprints and karma, Ho'oponopono, advanced Ho'oponopono, teaching you the 5th phrase and doing other things about that. I'm also a Reiki master now. It's took 3 years on that journey. And you know what? I now infuse my Reiki with the Ho'oponopono, and I offer free Reiki sessions where I send through distance healing Reiki infused with Ho'oponopono to anyone who wants it. I also am an advanced sacred freedom protocol practitioner and a master tapper, which means that I do EFT tapping and TFT tapping, and I can teach you how to help balance your energy and get your energy flowing again through your tapping on your meridian systems, and teach you how it's connected to the Ho'oponopono through the sacred freedom protocol, which I'll also offer in free workshops. And I'll teach you all how to do it, because you know what, this stuff should be free and it should be accessible for all, because we all need a hand sometimes and we all need to share that love. So thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all. And now we have time for answering questions. So if I'm going to try and get across to the question box, and if anyone's got any questions, please send them to me. I'm just going to go across now to the
if you go across to
more chat, there we go. So Cindy, appreciate your time. I have no questions. Well, thank you, Cindy, and thank you for getting back to me. Thank you. If you do get any questions, or if anyone gets any questions, please go onto the piece of eye, stick your questions straight up in a post, and I will reply to them ASAP, pretty much same day. Okay, so any questions at all, don't worry, don't be shy, send us a question. Oh, thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you for joining me. And just so you know, this is not me praying to you. I'm saying namaste. I'm honoring the light in your soul that's also in mine. You know, does Ho'oponopono work in all aspects of your life? Absolutely. Namaste. Yes, it does, Kelly. Ho'oponopono can be applied to anything. So for me, I can apply the Ho'oponopono. I don't want to go too deep into it, but if I'm going out for a walk, and I do very often go for mindful walks, and I talk with the trees and the plants and things, because everything's energy. I Ho'oponopono the trees. I Ho'oponopono the path. Before I met with you all today, I Ho'oponoponoed the laptop, however your devices work. I sent out through the energy of Ho'oponopono, I sent out, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you to those devices. I cleaned the air, I cleaned the satellite that sent the energy. I cleaned you all. Anyone, I asked the universe, I don't do God, I do the universe. That's my purple-headed unicorn. So I said to the universe, namaste universe, I'd like to ho'oponopono and send out some love, some forgiveness, some sorriness, some repentance, and some thank you, lots of gratitude to all the people that are going to join me today. So I sent that out through the universe to everyone, because I can clean on everything, and so can you. You don't have to be certified to ho'oponopono things. All you have to do is apply the 4 phrases to clean whatever it is in you that's someone else. Do I have to think why I love you and why I thank you? Well, not really, no. That comes, I can think of something that really does my head in. And when I think of something that's really doing my head in, and I'm saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Sometimes I think, I really don't love that person or that thing because they're doing my head in. And eventually, with time, after repeating it, I actually do start feeling it. But, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. And things do our heads in and things go wrong, So it's okay to not feel it and it's okay to not feel it and not focus on that. It's you allow that problem to come up into your head and just say those words and just keep letting yourself say those words, and eventually the rest kind of just drops in, because in our pure state we're love, so eventually we get to love. It's just we have to clean out those memories first and let them go before we can get to the state of actually, I do love you. So how do I know my cleaning working on myself so that I can clean others? You can't clean others, darling. Kelly, you can't clean others. You don't clean others. Now, Dr. Hugh Len said, when he had a client who came in, sorry, that's my dog, Scooby. He said, I got people into my office and they said, my daughter is a drug addict and I need them to heal. So Ho'oponopono is applied to the person who's got the problem. Yeah. So because that person's problem's brought up in your life, so like the Ho'oponopono cleaning group, how many problems do we see every day? How many things do people say, clean on this, clean on this, clean on this? I ain't cleaning on someone else's problem. I'm cleaning up on whatever they're mirroring. So when they've got something in their lives that's come up to say to me, I need to clean on that. So I'm cleaning on me in that person. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. Or it says, and my question is, at what point can I help cleaning others like Dr. Hugh Len? Dr. Hugh Len never cleaned on other people. He cleaned on what was in him, in them. He made that really clear in the first, is it called At Zero or something? I've read that much of them, that I really can't remember which one exactly. But I've had hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Just, I think the one course was something like 10 hours of videos. So Dr. Hugh Len, thank you. Stamatis? Sorry, I'm not sure how to say your name, but thank you. So Dr. Hugh Len never cleans others. And when they, on Dr. Hugh Len's website, they invite people, they say, would you like help cleaning on something? Yeah, well, they're inviting people to come and say what they have got an issue with in their life. And the people that read it know that somewhere in that thing that they're reading is something that's mirroring them. It's a reflection of them, and they clean on them in them. Yeah, so they clean, that person's cleaning on that person in what they see. So for me, I've cleaned on you guys because I'm cleaning on whatever's in you guys that is in me. And I can clean on anything, but I don't want to get too far away with basic Ho'oponopono, because in advanced Ho'oponopono, I can explain how you can clean on people that are passed away, so ancestral stuff. I can clean on people that are dead, basically. I can clean on situations that happened many times ago. If there's something going on, I can clean on that, and so can you. So anything at all that comes up into your mind, anything, any issues that you have an issue with or that upsets you. So for me, I think of things like the war, any of the wars, and I think, you know what, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. And we can be that change we wish to see in the world, because what we do is we're saying sorry, we're taking responsibility for our part in that, or whatever it is in us, you know, or our ancestors. It's something, there's a memory there somewhere that's stored up in our data, and we're going to take responsibility for that. And we're grateful that it's shown up itself in our lives, and we are loving ourselves, and we're loving the situation for giving us that information, so we can then go on to keep cleaning. And that will transmute the issue, that we're sending it to the divine when we say I love you, and by doing that we're sending it to that higher power which transmutes, which means basically transmutation is getting it and it's turning it into a positive force. So it's gone from negative energy. So if you think of it like a negative thought is like a negative ball of energy, and then what you're doing is you're giving it love and sending it to the divine or your higher power in you, or the universe, and the universe is then going to get it and they're going to turn it from negative into positive. Yeah, thank you, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. So when cleaning other things I need to clean on come up, can we clean on them all at once? Absolutely. And there are shortcuts about, but you know what? Until you've got your head round why we're doing that, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, we really shouldn't be going into it, because we forget that it's not about us, and we start blaming things. And like Dr. Hugh Len says, blaming is bullshit excuses. So until we got our head around the basics and we can apply that in our lives, only then should we really move on to doing something a bit more complicated, if you like, and trying to get everything all in together. Does blue solar water amplify the Ho'oponopono effect? Okay, right. What I'm teaching you today is the basic Ho'oponopono. This is a tool. When I use Reiki and I channel Reiki energy, Reiki is a tool. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is a tool. Blue solar water is a tool. Blue solar water will clean if you believe it will clean, and it will amplify the effect if you think it will. For anything to work, you have to believe in it. If you don't believe in the Ho'oponopono, it won't work. But if you believe that the Ho'oponopono works, and you say I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and you do it often enough, you will be able to feel it, and knowing that it does actually work and it has worked for other people is enough for it to work in your life. But as with like Reiki energy, when we send energy to people, some people can't receive it because they're not open to it. So to be able to use blue solar water, it's great if you believe in it, and it can amplify the effect if you believe it will. I hope that answers your question, Kelly. Yeah, so thepeaceofeye.com. If you want any help with anything, or if you'd rather that I do anything next time, like if there's an order, if you all want to learn about Sacred Freedom Protocol next, then send me a message and I'll try and go with what people want rather than what I want to do. When will your other Zooms be? Well, I'm not sure, because I'd like it to be quite regular, maybe every week or every 2 weeks. So I'm open to any inspiration from you guys, because at the end of the day, I want to share the love, and there's no point me doing it if you're not going to be able to be there. So I'm there for you and I want to make time for you. So if you guys drop me a message or let me know when you most when's most suitable, then I can go with the flow and go for whoever, like the majority, go with the majority. So I'm gonna go now, but I'm always around, so feel free to send me any messages you'd like. And thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.